In this video, we're going to go over the technology setup in the new buildings, and we're going to talk about how to move your files from your H drive to your Google Drive. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we want to go over is the teacher workstation. Each classroom will have a teacher workstation, and you will have a full 24-inch monitor on one of those cool articulating arms. You will have a hover cam, your phone, of course. You'll have a full-size keyboard, speakers, mouse, and you will have a Chrome box. A Chrome box is similar to what you might think of your motherboard, like your desktop that you have right now in your classroom. But this Chrome box, it runs on the Chrome OS system, so the Chrome operating system. It's just like your Chromebook. So you're used to your Chromebook. This is the same operating system. The next thing I want to share is the teacher desk, and this is a rolling desk. It looks really cool, and this picture is to scale as much as I could. So that is about how big, how much space your Chromebook would take on the desk. The desk can go up and down, so you can actually sit at it if you wanted to. So if you rolled next to a student and you wanted to sit down next to them at their desk, you can, and then you could pop it back up to a standing height and move around. There is a little, just like in the picture, there's a little bucket and a shelf where you can put things. There is a cup holder, and there's a little slot where you can put your cell phone if you want to. So it's pretty slick. We are providing technical support as we make this transition to the new building. So today we're doing the Google Drive move. So this is a big one, because you do have to be at your desktop to do this. You can't do it on your Chromebook, so you have to be in school at your desktop. Also, we have a lot of concerns about we have a lot of concerns about Smart Notebook files and using them in this new Chrome OS world. And what we're finding is Lumio is very nice to work with, and you can actually create new Smart Notebook type files in Lumio. Annotate, I'm still learning, so that is also another option. Airtame, that's the wireless presentation platform, so teachers in grade 3 to 6 will have display screens to use Airtame to present their lessons. And then Clever Touch, which are interactive displays for the K-2 teachers. We're looking at training on Airtame and Clever Touch when you have them in your, when you can actually play with them and practice. So we're looking at those more at the very beginning of the year, or maybe before school starts. But today we are talking about Google Drive. So the recommended steps to move your files from your H drive to your Google Drive is, the first thing is to look at your H drive. Figure out what you want to move. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go through and delete a bunch of files, but what I'm saying is to think about what you're moving over to Google Drive. And then we had Zoom sessions with me, and I recorded the Zoom session, but it didn't record. So I'm making this video, and I'll put this in the presentation. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go to our settings in Google Drive, and we have to enable the option to convert uploaded files to Google Doc editor format. So you have to check this setting to convert the uploads. Otherwise, you're going to have to go into each individual file and say save as a Google Doc, which then you'll have double of everything that you brought over, because you'll have to reopen it. Now, this only applies to Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel documents. That's the convert. If you're bringing over PDFs or JPEGs or PNG files, those will just come over on their own, or video files. You don't have to convert those. So now I want to open up my drive. So let's start this process. My suggestion is to watch this video on your Chromebook and be working on moving your files on your actual desktop computer in your classroom. So then you could pause the video, do some stuff, play the video, and you kind of go back and forth. All right, so to get to my drive, you can go here to your waffle and choose Google Drive. It's right there. So here's my drive. I'm going to go up to the gear, which is the universal symbol for settings. So click on that, click on settings, and then this is the important thing, convert uploaded files to Google Doc editor format. You have to make sure that this is checked. So make sure it's blue. So even if you think you already did this, go in and make sure. Notice right here it tells me how much storage I have used so far on my Google Drive. In the past, it's always been unlimited storage for Google Drive, but now, it started February 1st, they are starting to charge if you go over a certain amount in your Google Drive. Now, we are a Google Plus school, so we have, I think it's like 100 terabytes of data. Don't quote me on that, but it's a lot. But with that being said, if you just bring over your entire H drive, that would be a little irresponsible because you might not need everything in your H drive. And you don't want to take up a big chunk of the district's storage if you don't need to. If you want to click on the Manage Storage, what this does is it will show you your largest files that you have. So I'm sure that these are all video files here. Yep. So video files take up the most room. So I really need to go through and just delete some of these. All right, so let's go back to my drive. I've got my settings. I'm going to double check settings. This is perfect. Then we're going to click done. Now to move your files over, there are two ways you can go about it. So this first way is you would go to New, and then you can choose to upload a single file, or you can upload an entire folder. So if you have a folder in your H drive that you use all the time and you want to bring it over, it will create its own folder. It will keep that folder format. So let me show you. So I'm going to click Folder Upload, and then I'm going to choose my H drive. So I'm going to go down here to the Anger Management folder. I need that. So I'm going to click on the Anger Management folder. Notice it pops up down here, Anger Management, and then I'm going to click Upload. You're going to get a pop-up window that says this will upload all files from the Anger Management folder. Only do this if you trust this site. So I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to click Upload. Down here in the lower right-hand corner, it's showing me that it's uploading that folder, and it's complete. So it says one upload complete. I can click the X, and then right here is the Anger Management folder. I can open it, take a look. I have an Anger Management PowerPoint. It's already converted it from a PowerPoint to a Google slide. So now it is a Google slide, and I can tell because it has that little yellow Google slide icon. So let's open it and see how it did. Yeah, so it did a pretty good job. Sometimes if you have a PowerPoint that has a font that Google Slides doesn't recognize, the font might change. So it did a pretty good job. Yay. All right, let's go back to my drive. Now let's say I want to put this Anger Management folder in an existing Google Drive folder that I've already created. So I have a counseling folder right here. So what I can do is I could click on this folder right here. Don't double click. Double clicking will open it. I just want to single click on it. And then I'm going to drag it down here to counseling. And notice when I hover on it, that dark blue square lets me know that that's where it's going to go. So then I'm going to let go of my mouse, and Anger Management has been moved from my drive to counseling. So it tells me right there, but let's double check. And there's the Anger Management folder with the Anger Management PowerPoint. So it's pretty intuitive on how you can move things around in your Google Drive. Let's say that you just have one folder that you want to move. you can go up to New and then just grab that one file. So that means that one single document that you want to bring over. File is a single, folder is the whole, well, folder. So folders are always at the top, and then down here I call these my homeless files because they don't have a home, and I eventually want to give them a home, but right now they're just homeless files down here. So folders are up top, then your loose files are at the bottom. So if you if you do New and File Upload, it's not going to go in a folder. It's going to show up down here. All right, so that's one way. New, File Upload, Folder Upload. There is another way. There's always two ways. So I'm going to make this a split screen. So I've got my drive over here. I'm going to open up my H drive. Okay, so here is my H drive on one side of the screen, and on the other side, my Google Drive. I'm going to grab a folder that I want. So I've got these behavior charts. I can simply click on this and drag it over. So I'm holding the right button on my mouse, and I'm moving my mouse and I'm moving it over, and I don't want it to go in that folder. So I have to be careful. I want it to go in my drive. So I'm just going to go up here until that whole box is, you see how underneath my drive, under name, it shows the entire drive squared off. That's what I want. So I'm going to copy and I'm just going to let it go. And it's showing right here that it's uploading that file. I must have a lot of stuff in that behavior. Yeah, I have 18 things in that folder. So that's going to take a little bit of time. Then I'll go back, and maybe I just want to open up the Bitmoji and I just want the crazy dance. But I'm going to move this over and I want it to go in my Bitmoji folder. So I'm going to drag it, and notice just my Bitmoji has that blue square around it. If I go up here, the entire drive, but I want it to go in my Bitmoji folder. And then I'm going to let go of the mouse, and once again, it's showing, it's sort of giving me, oh, they're all done. So Crazy Dance is done, and that was a movie. And then behavior charts is done. So let's take a look at behavior charts. And they're all moved in, and they're all automatically converted to Google Sheets, Google Docs, well, just Google Sheets and Google Docs. Let's open up one of these and just take a look and see if the formatting in the document. So the formatting looks good. This is a chart that I had in the Google Docs, so I'm pretty impressed that this came through as well as it did. So this is a student progress chart. This looks pretty old. Pretty impressed at how that turned out. So that did convert pretty well. That's the two ways that you can move your things over. You can do it by going in and starting in your drive and just do New, either file, a single file to move over, or to move a whole folder. Or you can do a split screen and open up your H drive, and then there we go, open up your H drive and then just start moving files over. Just drag and drop them into your drive. My advice with this would be to take it a little bit at a time. I think if you approach it in chunks, it won't be so overwhelming. And like I said before, don't just bring everything over. Take a look at it before you bring it over from your H drive to your Google Drive, so that you can have a nice organized Google Drive going into the new building and a new school year next year. Getting organized is always fun. And it's kind of what we're all doing this time of year with spring cleaning and everything. And of course, remember, your H drive is still here. So it's not cut and paste, it's copy. So it's copying the files over to your Google Drive. you still have them. So notice my 4-year plan is still right here. My behavior charts, they're still right here. So you still have them in the H drive. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to email me. When I'm out in the buildings, find me. My extension is 8322. I just recently got a phone, 8322. So please reach out and have a great day.